In this video, we're going to take a look at modifying geometry that's out there on the screen. We're going to be in the horizontal geometry introduction. We're going to zoom down to the modified geometry, and as you can see, there's several things we're going to look at here. We're going to look at creating a start station or modifying the start station. We're going to look at a new tool called Transpose. So you've got an alignment that goes in one direction and you want to flip it to the other direction. That's what Transpose will allow us to do. We've got to insert a fillet, so you've got a straight tangent line horizontally, and you want to add in an arc inside of there, or a fillet. We have that tool available. And then append an element, so we've got this red complex element, and we want to add on these two white elements here on the right, so we can add those all together. So let's take a look at this start station and add station equation tool. So you can see that this starts at 0, 0 plus 0, 0. When you select on the line itself, there's no information here at the beginning. All you have is the annotation, but you don't have anything at the beginning. You do have things for the arc included in there, but you don't have anything at the very start. Okay, that means you really haven't added a station to your alignment or element. It just automatically always starts at 0 plus 0, 0 unless you tell it differently. And that's what this first tool does. This start station will modify that starting station. So we're going to be in the Open Roads Modeling, Geometry. We're going to go to the horizontal tools, and here we have the modify tools. And we're going to look at a few of these. We're going to look at this first one. We're going to do a start station. It says locate the element. So the element could be any horizontal civil element. So we'll select on that element, and it says where do you want to start this stationing. So it doesn't always have to be at the very beginning. You could say along this element somewhere, I know what that station should be, and it'll backtrack and put the start station to meet that station that you placed there. For ours, we're going to, instead of starting at 0 plus 0, 0, I want this to start at 10 plus 0, 0. So I'm just going to move beyond it. So just back beyond the start of this, and I'm going to left click for the start distance, and that'll get it right on the end of that element. And then for our start station, we'll do a 10 plus 0, 0 and hit enter on that. And since this annotation was created automatically with our roadway, I had that information turned on in my feature definition toggle bar when I drew the MoDOT baseline proposed. I had this item on here, which is to automatically annotate that. When I did that, I added the start station. It'll automatically change this. Now the difference is when I hit the element selection tool and select that line, you'll see that I have now a start location at 0 and a start station of 10 plus 0, 0. So now if you needed to change that start station, you would actually click on that 10 plus 0, 0 and change it to whatever it needs to be. So if it was 12 plus 50, you could enter that in, and it'll go and modify and change that start to 12 plus 50. Okay, that's your start station. The next option in there is to add station equation. Okay, so on this one, again, it's the same sort of thing. We're going to pick the head station up in here in the dialog. We can say that at 16 plus 0, 0, we are going to have that be 20 plus 50. So the head station will make that 20 plus 50. And you could do this on the heads up instead of in the dialog as well if you wanted to. But we're going to go in here and locate the element. Our back station here is going to be wherever we select on this line, or you can key in 16 plus 0, 0 and enter that in the heads up. And it's going to give you that rubber band line off of that 16 plus 0, 0, and we can left click to accept it. The head station, we plugged it in here. If we didn't, we could type it in right here. We'll accept that. And when we do that, you'll see the 15 station stays, but now that 20 that was ahead now has changed over here to 25, and you can see it adds an equation. 16 plus 0, 0 back is 20 plus 50 ahead. Okay, that's adding your station equation. So that's the first couple we're going to go over here in this road 1. We may go over some other options in there in road 2, but for now we're going to go to the transpose element and talk about that one. So on this one we start 0 over here on the left, and let's say that 0 needed to start over here on the right. That's what this transpose will do. We're going to go back up into our horizontal tools under modify, and we're going to go down here to the transpose element. So we're going to pick on that tool, and it says locate the first element to transpose. So I'm going to go ahead and select this element. You have to read the heads up prompts with this one. It says locate the next element, because you can continue to pick other elements or reset to complete. So I'll hit the right mouse button to reset, and then it says accept the transpose selected elements. So then you have to go ahead and left click to say I do want to transpose it. Now what I've noticed with this tool is you can see the annotation doesn't update for that. A lot of times you can go into the drawing production area, go into the element annotation underneath the annotations, and remove element annotations. Doesn't always remove them, but we'll see if it does here. We left click on the element and we right click, and it did not remove them. So what I'm going to do here is just going to select those elements and delete them, and make sure I get all of them out of there and delete them. And again, in that annotations, underneath the annotate element, I'll go ahead and select annotate element, go ahead and select and reset, and there it has done it. Okay, transposed it, started over here at 0 and go now to the right, and then goes to the left to the end. Okay, so that is your transpose element. We'll flip that element completely around. Insert fillet, that is also underneath our geometry tools, underneath of modify, and we've got the insert fillet right here. And we will select this line. This has to be a civil element for this to work properly. We can come out here, and then this is placing the PI. So we can left click the PI, and then as we move it out, we can either key in a radius or we can left click to place it. And that will make that one complex element throughout there. Then you can modify, let's say that was supposed to be 1300. You can modify it after the fact. Okay, you can also modify where you placed that PI. Okay, the append element. This one will add information that's connected to a complex element. So we'll go down here and append an element. Okay, so we're going to say this is our complex element. It's the red line, so I'll select it. It says locate element to add or insert. So we're going to locate these two items. And then all we have to do is, basically we're done with that tool, we can hit F4. And then when you select that append element, it is there. Okay, all one piece. Alright, and that is our modify geometry tools.